everybody. Good morning and welcome to another episode of the Unlocked Show. I'm your host, Tracy Wilson. Today, I have my very special guest, my business partner, co-host for the day, Vickie Helm, who is always wonderful to have on the Unlocked Show. We had her last week. We'll be having her today and then again on Friday because we have got some amazing stuff to share with you guys. We've got some big announcements to make and some really cool stuff that we want to share with you about connection and protection. Now, you can think about that however you like. You know, sometimes we need connection and protection in other ways other than business. But today, people, we are talking about it in the context of business. So we're going to be talking about connection and protection and why you actually need both, why it is so important that you build your business for long-term success, taking these two things into consideration. So without further ado, I'm just going to cut to the chase, say hey to everybody who is with us from the Success Secrets for Business, Family and Life group. If you guys are here, welcome. Christmas time, a little bit of Christmas cheer happening here in Australia, even though it is stinking flaming hot outside. We kind of try to bring a little bit of the white Christmas feel and theme to our lives too. So anyway, welcome to the show, Vic.
Hey, man. Thank you for having me here, Tracy. You know, I love being here. I love the topic. And I just want to kind of jump right in and talk about the connection and protection because it's going to be so paramount going into this new year. You know, this is the time of year where everybody's talking about their plans and what they're going to do and what the goals are and things like that. Where are you going to scale your company? How you're going to grow it? And most people always decide to grow it and they make plans for that, but they don't actually think about how am I going to connect deeper with my client? How am I going to protect my intellectual property? And that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I'm pretty excited about it.
Absolutely. You're totally right. I mean, like you say, you know, moving into this new year, most people are thinking about, you know, what is the growth strategy, but we don't often think about the connection piece. And more importantly, we don't often think about how we actually go to protect ourselves. So I think today's topic is very, very important. And it really does fit in alignment with us building your authority, building your influence, but at the same time, enabling you to do that, you need to be able to build that level of connection with your audience in a way that is very authentic and makes them feel part of your mission and your journey. So let's talk a little bit about how one goes about kind of building out a mission. And maybe we can even talk about what our mission is.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do both of those things. Yeah. I think I want to start with when you're an expert, you've gotten 5, 10, 15, 20, some 30, 35 years, and you have so much experience and you have encapsulated this knowledge base that most people want access to. And protecting your knowledge base as well as having connection with an audience is so important because those are the people you serve. Now, in this global world, though, when you put out a piece of knowledge base, if you don't protect it, it'll be gone. So I have this story I always share with people. In 2008, I wrote this book that kind of stands up here in 2008. And the publisher, it was 2008, the book came out like 3 weeks before the financial collapse. And I was in Boston during that financial collapse on the East Coast. And there was rioting in the streets and everything else from what was happening. And I wasn't really paying attention to my book. I just thought, well, this is kind of a crummy time to launch a book, but oh, well, it's out there. What are you going to do? Well, what happened was my publisher was one of those publishing companies that went belly up. So there was some receivership of the assets and things like that. And it took me about 3 years to get the copyright back. But what was interesting about this whole thing was about 6 to 7 weeks in, my book was in every country in different language. It was in Punjabi, Chinese, Korean. It had been plucked off the shelf because there was no one to protect it because this company had gone belly up. And it was everywhere in different languages. In fact, we started writing a list of where it was in Chinese and this and that. And so what happens is if you put your knowledge base out incorrectly, you will have competitors competing with you for your intellectual property. The reason it's so important that you do this is because the integrity of your product diminishes if it's not delivered by you in the way you intended to deliver it. You're the expert of that. So what happens with your connection to people is they start getting different messages from people that are, because anybody can put up an English site and put it out there and be in India or be wherever they're going to be in the world. And so what happens is your connection, your integrity of your product gets lessened and lessened because these people are after money. They want US dollars or whatever, euros or whatever money. They want the money. They don't really actually care about what they're selling you. They only care that the languaging is to buy it. You care about making an impact. You care about your client. And that's the importance of having both the connection and the protection. And we'll go deeper into that in just a minute. But that's kind of a nutshell of the conversation.
And it's interesting. We also say, we're talking about this particularly in the online space and business world and information business space for that matter. But you also see this happening even in the physical product world, right? So you see
knockoffs.
Knockoffs. So the Chinese rip-offs, you see that happening time and time and time again. And unless you are, you've skilled and you do some certain things to make sure that you protect the integrity of your brand, all of a sudden, what was, a Louis Vuitton or a Versace, that was thousands and thousands of dollars, you can now pick up at your local flea market for $20. So
they call what did they call it? Prada and Frada or something like that.
Yeah. So that's the same concept that actually can happen in our world, particularly with the information and people taking that and then spinning it off as their own.
Absolutely.
Like you say, that diminishes the the integrity and the value of your product and gives your audience a mixed message. So let's go to like that whole connection piece, because there's kind of two parts to this. And in today's session, we're talking about connection and the protection piece. So Vic's kind of alluded to how important it is to protect your stuff. And we'll pull all of this together for you guys so you can see that, why this is important and why you actually need to focus on both things. But to get somebody to actually be interested in you, to get them to, to want to listen to what you've got to say, there are certain things that you need to have, right? And we talked about this last week on Friday, which was the ACE method. And we talked a lot about the A in the ACE method, which is authority and how to build that. And this connection piece is the C in the ACE method.
That's correct.
It's like looking at how you build a connection with an audience that makes them want to come back, because the misconception is lots of people think by building a connection with my audience or giving the information, sharing information with people, that I should be sharing a lot of how-to content. When in fact, if you share a lot of how-to content, you actually, from a diminishing point of view, you diminish the value of your product and or service, because it means that they no longer have to buy anything from you. There's no reason for them to go any further in working with you because you've given it all to them in all of your how-to. So the three things that we must do when we're trying to build, when you're building some level of connection, there's three different types of messaging that you must create. So yes, how-to content is one part of it. The second piece of that puzzle is also doing what we call belief adjusters. So we'll talk about this a little bit more because this is super important, but it's like looking at the industry. What are some of the industry norms and how do you really rattle the cages there and go against some of those? And adjusting people's belief patterns so that they're like, oh, I see, there's ways that I can, there is actually no truth in that, because often we believe something and it doesn't necessarily have a truth behind it. The third one is motivational and inspirational. And again, if you do only one of these three, the traction that you will get will be very little. But by combining all three of these together, it's going to enable you to get a really good connection with your audience and allow them to move with you on the journey through your value ladder, so they want to do more business with you. So let's talk, how to, it speaks for itself. It's how to,
It's how
how
to do something.
things, right? So you want to share some of that some of the time. Let's talk about these belief adjusters, because often there's so many things that we think are truths because we've heard them time and time and time again. They're a myth, they're a misconception, they're a lie in the industry. What are some of those, Vic, that we're hearing, and how can our audience help them to kind of come up with some of those belief adjusters and a way that they're able to share a belief adjustment type message with their audience? Let's help people understand that.
Yeah, the first thing we have to know is that every belief has some truth to it and some not truth. And some are toxic beliefs that we have that slow us up or sabotage us or make us small. And what you have to do with the first thing I do when I create a knowledge base is I want to uncover the myths and lies that have slowed people down, that have confused them, that have made things harder than they need to be. And that's in everything that you do, those belief adjusters. And belief adjusters are simply absolutely putting the comparison side to side and allowing your own discernment to say, yes, I want this. This makes sense to me. And letting go of this, because here's the truth. Here's the absolute truth. Your brain doesn't dissolve a belief, but it trades beliefs. It's like, I like this belief. And what happens is we protect and defend this belief until we find something we like better. Then I want this belief. I don't need this belief right now. So we're not actually shifting beliefs. We're kind of bargaining for beliefs that help us create a better life for ourselves. So what you do is you read things and you're like, that belief empowers me more. That belief empowers me more. And we talk about this all the time at the Success Secrets for Business, Family, and Life. Beliefs are thoughts and things around you. They're just thoughts, right? So they're either going to impair your abilities or empower your abilities. These are the two things. And when you get to the point where you are doing belief adjusters, what you're doing is taking an impairing thought and creating an empowering thought for them to grab to hold on to, that helps them improve their quality of life, their quality of their ability to think, and their quality of the ability to move forward. Those two things together, those are so powerfully important. And believe it or not, what I have found for myself is that no matter how many beliefs I shift up, there's always another belief that it helps me become more conscious, helps me become more kind, helps me look at my inner stuff and heal it. All of the time, there is always another belief that empowers, that empowers, that empowers, that empowers. And you want to know that there is more success with empowering beliefs than there are with beliefs that impair you. It's just, that's it. You have beliefs. That's it. They'll either empower you or impair you, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. And then, like Vickie said, it's about sort of that trade-off as to, I like this one, I'm going to keep that one, or I dislike that one, and I'm going to replace it with a new belief. And then we go into this mode of like stacking those beliefs. And if before long, you start layering one on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other, and then you've got, better discernment, you've got more confidence, you're more competent at what you do, and you're a lot more positive and happy person because you've started to adjust what's going on in our minds with the thoughts that then become the words, that then become the actions, that then become our lives, and you start being the things that you want to be. So it's really, really interesting when you actually start doing this yourself and you start sharing your messages in a way that helps other people adjust their beliefs. Something crazy happens, and it also starts to adjust your own. And before long, you're starting this whole process of transformation, which leads me to the next thing. The transformation is huge, right? So we talk a lot about, it's not about change. It's about transformation, because change, as we know, often is short-lived. It's not a long-term strategy.
That's correct.
But transformation, when we start to transform, little by little, you are starting to become you're a new you. Each and every day, you're starting to transform yourself so that when you look back in the rear vision mirror, you're almost unrecognizable to the person that you were that started the journey of transformation. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the third
Wait,
one.
wait, wait. I want to talk about what you just said. We're
Please do.
talking about connection. And so in
Yeah.
the first part of this, you have to have connection with yourself before you can have connection with your audience. And what she just talked about, change and transformation, and there's a vast difference between change and transformation that is so huge and so big. It's like, if you can't connect with yourself, how are you going to connect with your audience? And this is a big deal. What happens when you do these belief adjusters and these changes right here is that people get to observe you, your audience, your clients. Everybody gets to observe you and the shift in you. And when you can exude that shift that she was just talking about, you can go ahead and see how moving forward becomes connective with people. They're connected to you that way. Excuse me.
Absolutely, you become almost like a magnet. Your energy becomes so magnetic that people are drawn to you, and they want to
Mm-hmm.
be part of what it is that you're doing, because they want, what people really want is, they don't want to change. They don't want a quick fix. They want long-term transformation. And
That's
when
right.
you're doing that too, they often want a piece of it. So
Mm-hmm.
that like you say, is super powerful and extremely important in this entire process.
Mm-hmm.
Third piece is like motivation and inspiration. So there is, everybody wants a bit of the positive stuff. Everyone wants to feel motivated and inspired. However, there is also this misconception that I can get this motivation and inspiration from somebody else. Somebody else can start the process. Somebody else can help you to, to get into the mindset of, hey, I feel inspired. I'm feeling better about what I saw or what I heard. But there is an absolute missing piece to this puzzle. When motivation and inspiration will only take you so far. The next piece of the puzzle that you need is actually action and implementation. So when
Mm-hmm.
you combine all three of these things together as a teaching expert, as a coach, an influencer, and someone with authority and mentors people, then you have the power to be able to motivate and inspire people, but then you can also help them from a point of view of now allowing them and showing them. This is where the how-to piece comes in, which is often inside of your program. Now you've got the inspiration, you've got the motivation to make a transformation. Now let me show you how you actually do that. Let me give you the tools, the resources, and the information that you need to bring all of this together and actually make it happen. So
Mm-hmm.
is there anything, like, in terms of motivation and inspiration, what are your thoughts on that, Vic? Because I see that all the time, all over the internet, but it's the action and the implementation piece that is a big missing part. And that's why people end up in that mouse wheel stuck.
Yes. Yes. So I want to go deep down the rabbit hole with this. I think that your message, the message you have inside you, the message you have in your soul, is even more important than the person who has it. But what happens when you understand your message and reach connection? Motivation isn't words. Motivation is resonance. It's alignment. It doesn't say, I'm motivated now. Motivation is a feeling of alignment. It's not the, wow, I loved what he said and now I'm inspired. Motivation is a form of resonance. And when you have a certain resonance in your beingness, because you are passionate and in your core essence, in your soul, about what you're doing, when you're in that deep core essence, people can feel it, see it, touch it, know it, and that creates action within them. It also draws them to you as your client. So when you're working, like before I work on anything, I set my alignment, my resonance and my tone to call to me those people who are looking for me, those people who want to be connected to me, those people who need the information I have in order for them to go to the next level or to open up some block or go around an obstacle that they have when they're setting up their business. Those things for me are really, really important. But the most important way we connect by motivation and inspiration is a feeling that, like, everybody has a BS detector. It's when somebody's BS detector scans you and they calm down and they say, this person is speaking the truth. Truth about what I need to do, truth about what I need to happen. Their credit card's coming right out of them. They're like, these are the people I need to work with. You feel that. And that's what inspiration and motivation is. You feel that the second you move your card here and you've bought the program or whatever you're buying, that's going to help you, the services of somebody else, you have to take an action. You have to the action is to open it up and begin with the first step. Whether it's a book you read, you have to open the book and read that first chapter to the second to the third. If it's a program, you go through the modules. If it's a business place, and you start unpacking that business in a box and putting it in there. But the first place that people connect with you is that level of resonance that is just your beingness being present and authentic in the sale or in the moment.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now, a lot of people that are going to be watching us today have heard us talking about, the authority, how you build that, because that's what we talked about last Friday, and how there is this huge opportunity right now to actually do something to make a difference in the world, right?
Yeah.
And we talk about this as every show we do, we are changing lives, transforming lives, one show at a time. Every time we're on a show, hopefully there is somebody listening that picks up something that we do, watches us, makes it, and starts to make a difference in their life. We are changing lives one show at a time. So next year, we've got something pretty awesome coming out. In fact, it starts on Monday. So Monday, we are preparing people for something big for them to do in 2021.
Can I tell them about it?
Yeah, please. It's been something we've been working on for like 12 months. So I know Vic is like chomping at the bit to let you guys know what we're on about.
I do. I want to tell you about this because there has never been a better time in the world to have an impact than now. But it's how you can have impact. Those big stages you used to go to, those events that you used to go that were live, those things are completely off the planet right now. You have to make impact a different way. And over the next year, the greatest time to make impact in the world with your message is here. But how do you get started? How do you break the shackles from being this unknown expert to becoming a sought after expert? That's what we got going on right now. And I want to let you know on this Friday, if you would like to see what's in store for our program, I want to let you know we have something that is launching online that is to help people who want to make an impact, have an impact in the world, and how to do it from your own home, how to get your message out from your own home, how to add this to your business and do it on about 2 hours a week, as little as 2 hours a week. You can do more, but as little as 2 hours a week, you can grow more influence and authority and have that be part of your business where you can actually make an impact, actually go out and get new clients and actually go to the point where you are creating connection with people in such a way that you have 1,000 true fans that you grow over a period of time. So the program itself, it's going to be, if you're on the waiting list today, it's going to be 50% off. But then Monday, when we go live with it, it'll go back up to its normal price. So if you want to get it at the 50% off price, it's right here and right now. But I will tell you this. This investment is so important right now, the investment that you'll make, whether it's 50% or even at full price, because it's going to add a division to your business that will help you create connection with you in the world. And this is the way that sales are going to be done, because you can't go to pitch fests anymore, is what they call them, where all these speakers get up on stage and then they talk and they share value and then they pitch you at the end of the thing, buy my product, buy my this, buy my that. We're moving to a completely unheard of zone. And if you are looking at how to launch your message in the new year, if you are looking at how you're going to have an impact in the new year, if you are looking at not being the unknown expert, not being the best kept secret, you want to be the talk of the town, you want to be the sought after person, then you have to use the correct templates. And this ACE system that we have designed, which is authority, connection, and exposure. The E is exposure. That's what we're going to teach you how to do. We're going to, not only that, you're going to be able to set it up. And I don't know if I should do prices or what, but I will tell you, you want to go to this link right now and write this down, or just put it in a tab. It's www.influenceandauthority.com // wish waiting list. Is it waiting?
It should be on your wish list, but you need to be on your wish list.
Yeah. It's a waiting list. And somebody, Robin, would you put the link in the description, or Karen, whichever person is there, go ahead and put that on the wish list or waiting list right now. Because if you're on the waiting list, you're going to get a private email. We'll send the private email to you. It'll have the 50% off link, and you can get it at 50% off. But Monday, boing, it goes back up to price.
And the other thing that I want to just mention is that we are only taking a very limited number of people through this program. So there is only space for 20 people. 20, that's it. So if you want to, if you are looking to build your influence, build your business, spread the message, you think you've got a message that is worth sharing, then you need to get on the waiting list, and then get yourself inside of the Influence and Authority program, because we will teach you everything you need to do to build your influence and authority so that you can remove the shackles and step into your new space, which is going to be the sought after expert in your industry. So if that's you, you want to get on the waiting list, and then we'll send, like Vickie said, we'll send you a personal email, and we'll let you know how you can go about getting yourself in on the next intake, which starts on Monday. Now, if you can't join on Monday, is that a big deal? No, it's not. So we'll have live training sessions inside of a private group, but we will also have everything recorded. So if you want to, you can go at your own pace. If you want to go fast, you're going to stick with us, and we're going to make you go really fast, because Vickie and I don't muck around. But if you want to take it a little bit easier, you want to do it at your own pace, that's totally okay too. But you could expect to have your what we call the anchor platform sorted. You will be launching your new program, your new show, like so, beginning of next year. So if that's something that you want to do, you've been watching Vickie and I for a while and wondering how the heck do they do that? What's all that fancy technology that they use, plus all the stuff we do in the background that creates all of our social media on all the different platforms, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, you name it, it's all done in less than 2 hours a week. So if you want to know how to do that and at the same time build yourself a massive amount of authority and influence, then the Influence and Authority program will be for you. Like Vic said, it's half off at the moment. So,
yeah,
snooze.
And I want to spend just 1 minute telling them why we created this program. And the reason we created this program is because a lot of people asked us. I mean, even when I was on stage, people were like, how do you get on stage? How do you do this? How do you get over here? This is why we did it. But the most important reason we did this, and I'm talking to you out there who knows they have a message and want to make the impact, or maybe you're hiding a little bit. You're scared to be out there. You're scared to do this. We did this because the world needs you, really needs you right now. And the truth is, you know that. you know that you are here to have a message, here born for this specific time in history. And we have so much uncertainty that we need as many experts out there as we can get. We want to help you get your message out there because the world needs it now. So just go to that link, www.influenceandauthority.com/waiting list. Is it hyphen list or waiting list?
Waiting-list.
It's waiting-list. There it goes in the scroll right by there. Just go to that website. Get your name in there right now, and you'll end up with a 50% off. And thank you.
Got a couple of questions coming through actually in the chat. So
Sure.
someone's saying, what time will the modules, here, I'll pop it up. So what time will the modules be going live? I'm in Australia and I'm always missing the live shows and watch the recorded. So if you decide that you're going to join, you don't have to worry because we will be going live inside of the Facebook group. They'll be in an Australian time zone. As you know, I'm in Australia, Vic's in America, so we'll have a combination of both, but they will always be recorded. You can always go back and rewatch them. We'll also have a membership area, which will have there'll be a lot of tutorials in there, trainings, resources, tools, everything that we use to make our system work. We're giving it to you. We're giving you.
Yep, we're giving everything.
You're going to get the lot. So, and it's taken us, the whole year to develop all of this. We're talking about branding, timers, the whole kit and caboodle. We're going to show you guys how to do it, plus some. Plus, how to get, onto some major podcasting platforms, how to get your show listed, on places like iHeartRadio, how to get some A-list guests on your show, how to get people A-listers to say yes. There is a certain method and a way in which you do that so that you get a yes. I mean, if you don't know what the recipe and the method is, then it's very, it can be really challenging and difficult for people, for you to get, good people on your shows. So if you're wanting to do that sort of thing, you're wanting to make the influence and authority, you got to go there. But anyway, that's it. That's our big announcement. And that's what we're going to be working on next year. Like Vickie said, our mission is to help as many of you build your tribe by sharing your message and changing the world one show at a time, whilst also building a thriving business, family, and life. That is our mission. That is what we are about. And if you want to be part of that, you know where to go.
That's right.
Influenceandauthority.com/waiting list. Anyway, guys, I hope you have enjoyed today's show. I'm going to do a little bit of a recap. We talked about connection. So we talked about the 3 different types of connection, messaging that you can create, how-tos, belief adjusters, motivation, and inspiration. We've told you that we're going to teach you how to create all of those and the massive impact that it can have when you get that right. We've also talked about IP and protecting all of that. So Vic alluded to all of this, but inside of the program, we're also going to teach you how to create this protective bubble around yourself so that you do have the protection that you need to move forward, so that you have longevity in your business and it's stable and profitable. So that being said, I want to say thank you very much for joining us on another episode of the Unlock Show today. We're going to be back again on Friday. The cart will actually open for this program on Friday. We will actually share with you a link that you can go to. If you're not on the waiting list, you want to make sure that you get there because the price will go up and it's about $1,000 more. So just make sure that you get in there. Now's the time to do it so that you save yourself a little bit of money and you can invest that in other places in your business. So for today, I want to say thanks very much. Thanks, Vic. Thanks for coming on the show again. Always my pleasure to have you. We have, great conversations when we jump on this sort of stuff. But we'll see everybody again on Friday. So we'll see you guys again very, very soon. Bye for now, and we'll see you Friday. Bye, guys.